You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
All right, welcome to the Hemp Connoisseur magazine radio show. I am your host, Samantha Welsh, and I am here with the illuminating, gorgeous, brilliant, breathtakingly intelligent, wonderfully informed.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Christie
Hi, everybody.
Lunsford.
It's
Christie Lunsford.
Christie Lunsford. There you go.
Who's one of my favorite people. I feel like you and I could totally do the sweaty balls routine right now. Because we could do, you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
What do you mean you don't know what their sweaty balls is?
I live under a stone.
Okay.
You got to tell me.
Okay,
let's
so
start there.
SNL, you're aware that there's a show called Saturday Night Live? You're aware of this?
I am aware of that.
Okay, so on SNL, like back in the day, it was Anna Gasteyer and Molly Shannon.
Yeah. I know Molly Shannon.
And then
yeah,
Alec Baldwin came on, and
Zells.
they were like these lady radio hosts, and they were doing a show on Christmas, like gifts or goods that they would bake.
How sweet.
And Alec Baldwin, came in with
Can
his
Chris play Alec?
No. Well, he came in with he probably could, and he came in with his I would like you to taste my chocolate Schweddy. His name was Schweddy, like Bill Schweddy or something like that. And he's like, these are my Schweddy balls.
Oh my God.
And they were like chocolate balls, and they would be like, oh, I love how they taste. I'm not going to do it justice right now. I feel like you have to YouTube it. We'll just YouTube it during a commercial.
Okay.
It's so
Sounds
funny.
fun. And we can work through that.
Very good Incredibles commercial because they're incredible.
Excellent.
I feel like Incredibles maybe could make some sweaty balls. In fact, I'm going to pitch that to Bob right now.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Can you make some sweaty balls? Some incredible sweaty balls. Some incredible balls.
You never know. He could do that.
If he does, I want
he
a
can
cut.
do anything.
I want a cut of that. When you make your incredible balls, I just want 10%.
Exactly. And, we have some interesting synergy with our Western Slope connection as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Grand Junction.
I didn't know that. Did I know that? God, thanks, marijuana. Ruins my brain cells. It kills my short-term memory. Long-term memory.
I graduated from Grand Junction High School.
I graduated from Grand Junction High School.
I know. Hi, Samantha.
Hi.
I don't remember what year I graduated in, though, so.
I think you're lying.
89?
I graduated 98. This is crazy because we're flip of each other.
Yeah.
You probably know some of my relatives. We'll talk about this on the about this.
Definitely.
Oh my God, you definitely know my family. That's creepy.
I know, it is creepy.
I think we have talked about this before. Maybe
it's coming back.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
Alcohol has ruined all my brain cells. Just all of them.
Well, I don't know. We'll figure out.
I should make the safer choice more often.
Maybe I could make some tinctures for you. Some
That'll help with the memory.
Possibly some supporting medicine for you.
Perfect.
We
Wonderful.
can talk about it.
I know.
So you want to talk about the Hemp Connoisseur Championship?
I would love to talk. I was a judge.
Yes.
And I smoked all of the strains, and all of the strains were
How
wonderful.
was that?
They were great. David did what? What are you like? No, some of them are. Some of them
There
are.
was three that were good. There was three, and it was one out of each medical hybrid and sativa.
Well, they weren't. Did you?
Colorado
were you medical or
problems.
were you an adult judge?
Medical.
See, I was adult use, so it was a little different.
Interesting.
But yes, there was some good. There was some swag.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, But other than that, because this is not. I think they were all valuable entries, Chris. And it was a lot of fun being a judge. I love that, because then I'm always have all this weed and I just give it away to people.
Definitely fun.
I'm like the weed fairy. Here you go.
I love that.
Here you go, weed fairy.
I love that. I just give people cookies.
Here's your stocking stuff for a little thing of weed. There it is.
It's the gift that keeps giving and giving.
But and then who do we have a list of the winners?
I don't have a list of the winners, sadly.
Oh well, you can lose.
See, this is what we need David
We're
for.
so ill prepared. I know David is probably pissed. Right? He's probably listening right now and just angry that we don't have a list of winners.
Hi, David. I do have show notes, though.
He should have emailed you guys.
Well, I know I know the babysitter got sick, and I was like, just bring me and Madalena to the studio, and he didn't have the car seat, and then I was like, what are you gonna do in an emergency?
Yeah,
These new parents, Jesus
you got to have an
Christ.
extra. It just happens.
I can't stop playing with speaking of balls, I can't stop playing with this ball.
That is such a nice ball. Let's talk about that.
These are my
So
ball.
last night.
I only just have one. Actually, I have two balls now.
Oh, you do?
I had picked one up last year, but it's for I was just picking up for someone, but they still haven't gotten it yet. So I have 2 now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the Cannabis Business Awards happened last night, and it was put on by Chloe at Cloverleaf Consulting. And I am so pleased to be sitting with the hemp, industrial hemp industry's most influential individual, Samantha
That's
Walsh.
a lot of eyes.
Yeah, nice alliteration there, but
It is nice
really
alliteration.
pretty. Oh, it's gorgeous.
I
So
know. It's
pretty.
it's all of the pretties. It's gold this or platinum this year,
Yeah.
yeah. So, the first year that we had legal adult use cannabis. So, Chloe went with the platinum because it's been a platinum year for the industry.
It has, and I'm super excited. And I had a great time last night.
Yeah,
really
I had a
did.
wonderful time.
Everyone was in a great mood. I saw people hugging each other. I never thought would even speak to each other.
I know. And that was
I actually hugged somebody I never thought I'd speak to. Too.
really?
Yeah.
Good. Oh, good.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that's something that, and if I had been more articulate first of all, I'm so grateful and honored. So thanks to everyone who voted for me. Actually, I think that's really sweet. I do a lot of hard work. I don't do it for the recognition. I just do it because it's the right thing to do.
It is
But
the right thing to do.
it is nice to get it. It's really cool. I was so overwhelmed with emotions that, it just felt, anyways. The point being that because I was so overwhelmed, I was extremely inarticulate in my acceptance speech. I just couldn't get all of the word things to come out of the mouth hole and in a proper way. And one of the things I did want to talk about is that in that room you do see people from the entire spectrum of the industry.
Yes.
From the activists to the, executives. And sometimes those are the same people. Sometimes they're not. But David did say he'd email the list of the winners, by the way. He's going to get it to us. So
Excellent.
He is listening right now. That's awesome. We talk so much shit.
Oh, God.
Cover me as ears, David. We're going to talk so much shit right now. So, yeah. And so it's just, I hope that we can start to heal because there is sometimes a lot of
We've got a riff.
yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple riffs, but, we're all family in a way. And there are people in my family who I would never have chose to have interactions with.
If I could choose siblings, not it.
And then we have kind of our activism family, and we're all special and unique and valued in our own way. And I think that's what made last night so special is I did get to see everyone.
It is like a family, huh? It is like the fighting. I think that's part of what it is. Because some of them have been doing it for years with each other, and then they something happens and it's just bitter feuding.
Right.
And it's often just the smallest things, and you really would. I know I try to encourage that all the time. I actually try to stay the minute you always can tell that look in someone's eye when they want to start talking shit about somebody else.
And somebody bumps them, and then you turn them, and that's some advanced kind of deferment.
Yeah, and it's harm reduction. It's a different kind of harm reduction.
But it's professional harm reduction.
And I can't anymore. I just cannot even with all the fighting. And it's not. It was nice last night to see a huge tent. I mean, God, there's so many people there, and it's bigger than it's ever been. I went last year for the first time. I didn't go the first year that she did it. I went to the second one, and I could not believe how much it has evolved. It was a little ramshackle the first time. The second one, it was hovering on almost there. And then it just, last night blew my mind away. I could not believe. I think that was one of the reasons that a lot of people didn't purchase a table because they probably thought it wasn't going to be that crowded.
Yeah.
And then they got there and they were just dumbstruck. So I'm thankful. Thank God Jane West was smart enough to
get two tables.
2 tables for women.
Two tables.
Brilliant.
She called me the week after Thanksgiving. She's like, you've got to buy tickets. You got to pay tickets. I was like, I don't understand. Why do I need to buy tickets? And she's like, obviously, Christie, you were nominated.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I found out. Because I was on Facebook. I was looking at, I didn't get it. I'm slow on the uptake. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think that that's probably one of the kinks that can work out is like making sure all the nominees have a table or at least
Or
a
know
sitting.
that we're nominated.
Yeah,
And hey, I got to give mad love to Chloe.
she killed it. It
If
was
we're a
just
cannabis family, she's our crazy aunt. And
Oh, I love Chloe.
She's
Chloe
awesome.
is such a dear, sweet friend. I love her to death. She does all that mostly by herself. You know, like
yeah.
she gets probably a little bit of the control freak in her, but I mean, she does it really well. I haven't tried. Yeah, I've been to so many. I've been to
We've been to a lot of events.
so many events, all of the events, and it's like I'm cross-eyed from all the events I go to, and that's what I'm saying. It's like just been this giant growth spurt, and we've evolved. Like it's just such a great
Interesting.
evolution to see. What are you looking at the phone?
Oh,
stuff?
well, I'm looking at the phone because I guess
Are they nudes?
I wish. Maybe later we can indulge.
Hmm.
Actually, I guess the Hemp Connoisseur's table got hijacked last night.
What?
Yeah, because I saw David's like back standing over, and I was like, oh, so I wonder who hijacked the table.
Oh, I got my swag bag taken.
No,
Well, I left it at the table, and then I
can't-
put a big kiss print on it, so like people at the table
You would know
always
it was
it's mine.
yours?
Yeah, because all the nominees got a swag bag, and then
it was a nice swag bag too.
and I didn't even look in it. I was like,
Oh.
because I was gonna rifle through it later,
exactly.
and then I just kind of forgot that it was there, and then when I went to go get it at the end, it was not there anymore. So I was like,
that's
well,
a bummer.
disappointing.
That is a bummer. It was a nice. It was a pretty nice swag kit.
I still have a swag bag coming
So-
from the Hemp Connoisseur. I think actually.
Nice.
Actually, David, where is my swag bag? I appreciate the email of all the people who won your wonderful awards ceremony and cups. Like, I'm so excited to talk about who took home best tested sativa and all that stuff. But more interestingly, where is my swag bag? So, David, if you're out there in
oh, he's out there.
listening land,
So
swag bag, Sam
let's-
swag bag.
Let's flip back to the Hemp Connoisseur Championship, and shall we? I'll just roll through this real quick.
We didn't even need to flip. I was already there.
Well, I have the results.
Oh,
now.
she's got the results. Okay,
yeah.
let's do
it's
it.
this mad thing called technology.
Technology. It's
Yeah.
scary.
So So I'm just gonna do the first place, and because there's a lot.
Yeah,
here.
we'll just go through the first place in each one. I actually think that's
Yeah.
great. And then you can find the rest at thcmag.com
Indeed.
or on their Facebook page. Or you can just friend David Madalena. Tell him Sam needs her swag bag still.
And that.
And then you can kick a gander at all the winners. So let's start with who is the grand champion out of the whole thing?
Sure. The grand champion was River Rock for their Bruce Banner Full Melt.
Oh, congratulations. to them
How
at
was
River
that?
Rock.
Do you remember that?
They don't tell me who they don't tell you what it is.
Oh, fantastic. See, I need to figure that. So the first place for best tested medical sativa was our good friends over at Green Man Cannabis for their Ghost Train.
That's my girl
haze.
Barb Vischer. Good job.
Love you, Barb.
Love you, Barb.
Where is Barb? I need a good hug.
They had a thing. They had a party the other day. One of their,
Oh, I remember.
I think they had their
Friday.
Christmas party. No, was it Friday? I thought it was the same night as.
Was
it was
it?
a Sunday night, maybe. Maybe it was Friday night.
It's all kind of a blur.
So this
a lot of
everything events,
parties.
I could go to a fundraiser tonight. It's just nuts. Anyway, so medical indica, first place was.
Patient's Choice.
It's my girl Brooke. Good job, Brooke.
Yeah.
Nice. And it was Green Man Cannabis.
Hell's
OG Kush. Oh,
Nice.
that's nice.
nice. The medical hybrid.
Oh wait,
was-
that's not Patient's Choice.
No.
I'm sorry. Green Man Cannabis again. That's Barb Vischer. That just
Well,
sounds
this is
weird
a
when
little-
he says.
Oh, I see. It's the name. Medical Indica.
God, we are a shit show right
First place. Oh, we're going to redeem ourselves.
Okay.
Hold on. The patient's choice for first place was Green Man Cannabis again. Mad love to Barb Vischer on that.
now. Oh yes. Sorry, Brooke. We still love you though.
Oh, without a doubt. Medical Hybrid, Green Man Cannabis.
God.
Star Killer.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it, guys. Killing it.
Concentrates for BHO extract. First place.
Of course.
The Clinic.
They just kill the extract game. They really do.
Live Resin Batter Kosher Kush. That Kosher Kush is epic.
Live resin's the new thing right now.
Yeah?
It's really in. Everybody's into it. It's the new water hash.
I think that's interesting. Is it just...
Yeah, instead of curing it, they just extract it while it's still wet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's not cured, just cut off the plant,
Yeah.
freeze it, blow it.
That's what I'm
Shake
saying.
it off.
Shake it up. Shake it up.
Oh my God.
Sorry. You said it, not me. Concentrates, water hash. First place for the patient's choice was, and the connoisseur's choice. was a double whammy.
Yep. River Rock.
River Rock Spruce Banner Full Melt. Good job, guys. Edibles, first place. Best tested was...
Canna Creations, Cannabob.
Have you ever had Cannabomb?
No, and to be honest, I must be off my edible game, which is astonishing because I have never heard of Canna Creations.
Oh, I know. That's great. Good for them, though.
Yeah. But hey, second...
Affogato. I've heard of that. That's Incredible's new thing. They got second place. That's cool. Good
and
for you
everyone's talking about Affogato.
I know.
That's
Everybody's
all I'm hearing about.
all up in it.
Yep.
Killing it.
Adult use sativa.
These are the ones I tested.
Nice.
So,
How was it?
It was wonderful. It was great, of course. Joe helped me. Joe's really into the sativa. There was one where we smoked it and we talked nonstop about going to Europe and living in Europe.
Oh.
So
I think that's
for
great.
like an hour, I swear to God. So I was like, this has got to be a good strain because we are just dreaming right now.
Well, you never know. We're going to actually, I think that you can get medical cannabis in the prison, like they give it access to prisoners in Germany.
Oh, wow.
So, or
Czech Republic has
yeah.
legalized medical marijuana. And I know, we were going to go over there and consult. That's a
serious jobs.
We can get some good consulting jobs.
So
I know.
We're horribly off topic. But the sativa,
horribly off topic.
So Northern Lights Cannabis Company for their Kaboom. And I got to tell you, there are fine people over there at Northern Lights.
Yes.
Yes.
The best adult use index. I wonder if that was number 6 or 5. Anyways, go on. Adult use indica. The first place, the best tested was the Green Solutions Presidential Kush.
Nice.
I like me some Green Solution, the good people.
Yep. And then the adult use hybrid was the first place for People's Choice was Walking Raven Dispensary, the Hong Kong Diesel.
Well, way to go, Luke.
Luke.
Killing it. Good job, buddy.
Oh, he is so sweet.
I know.
You know
just
what?
The
it's
nicest.
a mad love for everyone on this
See,
list.
it's all that family thing again.
I know. It's super awesome. Thank you, David, for sending us the results.
David said I had to show to get up, but apparently he didn't realize babysitting issues. You know how it is, David, when you have babysitting issues. So,
okay, family talk.
Well, that's why he couldn't make it because he had babysitting.
I know.
issues
And
today.
last time I was on, you were out. You were out for some kind of popcorn dance.
Oh yeah, Riley had they had like their Thanksgiving pageant. And
Popcorn
which
dance.
is not even really. It wasn't even about Thanksgiving. So they were like talking about the galaxy in the solar system. So they were doing that and talking about weather, and so they were doing like presentations on that.
Cool.
And it's bilingual, and so then they do like songs and they do all this stuff. And
cool.
the popcorn dance was something, and it was just. I have it on videotape. I'll keep that forever. I'll upload that into some cloud, and then when he's 18, I will thoroughly embarrass him in front of all of his girlfriends.
I like it.
Great mom.
I like it a lot. You are a great mom. You're a great mom. And you...
Some are helping get laid, one of the two.
Yeah, well, probably a little bit of both, because I'm a great mom.
So we do not have the Cannabis Business Awards recap for all
You
of...
recrap? Oh, girl. Damn.
It's my speech impediment. I'm working through it. But if you go on Facebook, man, it's there. It's there, like videos of everyone.
Jane West took videos of almost everyone, right?
Yeah.
So Women Grow should have them up if you go to their Facebook page.
Yeah. Every single one. And she is the high mistress of picture taking as well.
Yes.
There's
and so
some-
one of the first awards they gave out was, this is actually really, and I think this is something we have to work on as an industry, because I was at my table, because there's a lot of people there who this is the first time they've been there, they've been nominated, who haven't been. Like there are some nominees who've only been in the industry or working in the industry for a year. And,
or like 5 months. Hello.
Even less. Yeah, and even less. And then there was some that it was like, so when they got up there talking about Sierra, Riddle, and Landon, and that issue, like they had no idea what the backstory was behind that. And so I kind of wish that we had like maybe an explainer for that. But in case for people who don't know that backstory, because I actually think it's really important. Sierra is a mom whose son had cancer. He had a brain tumor and it was on just chemotherapy and, miserable, just miserable. Because I think we all know the ravages of that chemo puts your body through, because it is poison. In case people don't know, you're poisoning your body, but I'm not saying it's not helpful. I'm
And
saying that
the goal is to target all the cells surrounding the cancer. So they're aiming at the cancer cells, but they kill every cell in
Right.
that area, and that is why it's so catastrophic.
Yes.
So
I mean, there's a reason your hair falls out and you lose weight and you vomit, and it's because it's poison. It sucks, but it does help some people. But you can imagine if it's hell for adults, I can only imagine the kind of torture it is for a little child. After doing research online, Sierra really wanted to try to give her son medical cannabis oil, and she was reported to Child Services, and they told her, you need to stop and put your kid back on chemo, even though he was improving drastically under the cannabis oil. And she fought for the right to be able to continue that treatment. And I think, she's been doing it anyways. And even if you as a parent, to have the threat of your child taken away from you is almost as bad as death. It's just terrible.
I can't even imagine, because we both have boys.
Yeah.
And he comes home from a bad day of school, and I'm completely broken down. I have just the utmost respect for Sierra, and she is fearless. I think that the beautiful thing about this is we're surrounded by so many fearless people, and it empowers us to be even more fearless. And because of what she did, she opened up the doors for other parents to say, look at that. And I will tell you that back when things were pretty dicey about a year and a half ago, I remember sitting at my desk and getting an email, like a broadcast email about, who can help this family. And it was the first time I'd ever heard of them. And I pinged it to some of my professional doctor and nurse counterparts who dabble a little bit in cannabis medicines. And the response I got back from them was like, we don't even want to touch that. And the fact that she kept on and she didn't stop, it's amazing. It's just amazing. So,
Yeah, and it's just...
do you remember what the name of the award was?
There's the Hope. It was the Hope Award, and
The
then
Hope
she might
Award.
have gotten the Activist, I think, award. We can Google that real quick. I can just go to our Facebook page. But she, and I think that's just something that we all have to remain cognizant of, and how it's awesome, right? We're in this brand new world of adult use cannabis, and we're legalizing left and right. But we shouldn't forget our roots, and we shouldn't forget the people. There was just a news story. There's we cannot forget the medical aspect of this plant, and we cannot forsake that just because. Yes, we all loved getting high. It's a lot of fun, just as much fun as getting drunk, and a little safer. But we cannot forget that there are people who've located their families here, and the patient registry used to have about 30 children on it, and now it has over 400.
Right.
It has over 400 children on our patient registry list
Yep.
now in Colorado, and this is something that they're trying to shut down. And we have to remember that while these dispensaries do offer and try to help out these families, they have a business to run, and sometimes they don't have the luxury of being able to cater to one or two patients, but these caregivers do, and we have to make sure that they're still able to provide this because. Yes, while there might be abuses going on or whatever, there's a legitimate need. And just remember those 400 families,
Exactly. And caregivers are the modern herbal medicine makers of our time. They, like myself, are self-taught. They saw a need, and they maybe had a little bit of culinary skill, and they went to an herbal school and took a night class or Googled something extensively, or like myself, developed an extensive library of medicine-making books. And, I still craft small batch remedies for people who wouldn't have access to the niche kind of products that they need otherwise. And I'm not currently caregiving for any children, but protecting caregivers' rights is incredibly important. And I think that pediatric cannabis therapy is such a real thing. And I love it when people say, well, what about the children? And we can really counter that medicinally with peer-reviewed medical research and say, what about the children? Let's have a real conversation about cannabis that's just more than fear-mongering and prohibition statements. So,
I know. Let me see if I can get a list of some of the nominee or, some of the people we could talk about who won. And then the other person who won the Hope Award, named after him, was the Hope Foundation.
Jason Cranfield.
Jason Cranfield, right. And he
amazing grower.
And he does it just for the kid. He is the caregiver that we're trying to protect. And he won an award last night too, the first Hope Award, and that's going to be great that we can continue that tradition, so people can remember that this is.
Jason cultivates an amazing set of CBD strains, and he's completely overwhelmed with requests for medicine. If we could support the caregiving part of cannabis legalization a little bit more, then we'd have safer, better access for refugees coming from all over the U.S. and for pediatric use as well.
Right. I mean, it would be great to see, what they do in Berkeley is they have, they've required that there's a sort of nonprofit aspect. So they have to, I think it's like something like 10%.
Oh, yeah.
They give away or they donate to people in need because we don't have that kind of, you don't have Medicaid or Medicare or HCPF or anything like that being able to come in and provide these people with medicine. So this is something that is an opportunity. I mean, I that's something we could do. We can look at that, but that's something that I think that at least some people are still getting it, and there's a way that we can continue to make sure that people are having their access, right?
We could have a whole nother conversation about Medicaid and Medicare as well. I mean, any federal program that strips you of any wealth that you have so you can have ongoing access to medical care is a failed program. And I know so many ill people and seriously ill people that previously had homes and cars and retirement and college funds, and they had to basically become indigent so they could have access to basic health care because they were in a catastrophic accident or they had an illness. So we really all the great work we're doing in cannabis is a wonderful thing, but as soon as we can turn the tide on that, I'd really like to pull our direct attention to other issues that we could really do a better job on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'm trying to see what Sierra won, but I don't think it's listed on here.
Okay. And my phone's suddenly worthless, so I don't know.
Suddenly worthless. Well, one of the other awards that they gave at the beginning of the night was to Brooke Gehring.
Oh, yes.
Yes, one of the founding members of Women Grow.
Absolutely. Cannabis Business Person of the Year.
And I know she was just, Brooke is just such a wonderful person doing such great work. She was one of the, I think, few speeches that actually got me all teary-eyed.
I know. I started to mist up, too. And I really love Brooke because of her work on the banking issue. Mm-hmm. And because, from the consumer side of this, you go in, you got your $60, you get your cannabis, you go home, relax, chill, have a great time. But on the back end of this, it's all cash. And we have to have access to safe banking. Mm-hmm. We have to have fair taxation. And Brooke and a couple other progressive cannabis business owners have been working on getting together a banking system that'll really work for us. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's going to come into play here in January, the stateless credit or, the uninsured credit union, which is really great. And hopefully that's going to be a stepping stone in the right direction and we can solve that problem because it is a giant problem. And we talk about being regulated fairly, too. Mm-hmm. And Rachel K. Gillette won a couple of awards last night. She won on behalf of Normal.
Right.
For Organization of
the Year.
Year. And then she won for...
Most influential... I don't remember what she won, but I do remember what she did. She sued the federal... What was it? She
sued the IRS.
Sued the IRS. I love her.
I know.
Absolutely love her.
She's just amazing. Right. Normal won a nonprofit of the year.
Okay.
Is what it was. Organization was Women Grow. Won that. We can go
Great
through
job,
some of this.
Women Grow.
Publication of the year went to the Cannabist, but they weren't there.
Yes. You know what? I got a problem with that.
Why?
Well, first of all, it's publication of the year, and the cannabis is like a subsection. It's a project of the Denver Post. True, not true?
Well, I think it does get published online. I mean, this is what sort of the thing that we have to. Maybe it would help. Maybe if they have descriptors in the category, so that when people
Maybe.
are doing their write-in nominations,
And I kind of have a soft spot for this
I
other
know.
publication that look.
THC Canada, they were robbed. THC magazine was robbed. It was robbed. Do you hear me? Robbed.
Richard Baca, I love you, but come next time.
Oh, I know. What the fuck was up with that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Would have been nice to see your face.
I know she emailed him too. So
Oh, yeah, I was pinging people via text. I'm like, where are you? Where
Yeah.
are you? You just won. Seriously, where are you?
yeah.
So, yeah.
Most valuable media source went to Weed Maps. So that was great. They've been doing a lot of great work.
I got to tell you, as the soccer mom in the game, I use Weed Maps all the time.
Really?
Yeah, especially when I had my product line, like it was invaluable. And now it's for when people come in from out of town and they're like, they text me and they're like, Christy, da, 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 da. I just send them the Weed Maps link.
Yeah.
It's like-
Where can I get this? Here, go to Weed. I know my cousin was in town for like a job interview, and he was downtown. Not even downtown. He was like in uptown area. He's like on Colf, and he's like, where he calls me. He's like, I need to order. There's a dispensary.
Oh,
Because he's from Georgia.
Seriously.
And I was like, just fucking download Weed Maps, dude. And he's like, I'm talking to this homeless guy, and he can't find me a dispensary. I'm like, well, he's definitely not going to find the dispensary. And I was driving at the time, so it's not like I could Google anything. I'm just like, just download. Oh, shoot. Cannabis Activist of the Year went to Sierra Riddle.
Awesome.
Or no,
Great job.
Sean Azarati got that.
Sean's awesome.
Yes. Advocate of the Year went to Mason Tvert. Oh, but you were nominated.
I was nominated, and I absolutely, God, I just am filled with love today. It's like I mind chanting. Mason's so awesome. And this is not just a job to
He
him.
is a 6-time winner, by the way. He likes to brag about that. No, he's literally, I was telling you this earlier, Christy. He's the Meryl Streep of cannabis. So, like,
Oh my God.
you
Oh my
can't,
God.
like, if you go up against him and lose, that's like, it's Meryl.
It's Meryl.
Mason, I know.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Mason again so I can tell him that he's the Meryl Streep of cannabis.
Oh, Mason.
So-
It's even like Mason Tvert, Meryl Streep. I mean, it's the same diva personality. It's
Aw,
just
do you
the
really
eloquence.
think so?
No, God, no. Mason's so not a diva. He's just,
He's humble and brilliant.
yeah. Oh,
So-
he's one of my favorite people, and I love his dog and dog sitting.
Oh.
Whenever he goes out,
That's
he
one
always
slobbery
whenever he's
dog.
got to do stuff, he's like, we watch Addie. I'm like, hell yes.
You get to watch Addie?
I love watching Addie. Yeah.
I have that big yard.
I'll bring her over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I just was incredibly honored. I was nominated with Kayvon, Mason, Sabrina, and Diane Forenbacher, and it was an amazing experience.
I mean, that is just the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Diane's been in like doing this for like
17 years?
yeah, I was gonna say 17 billion years, but
17 billion. Well, Sabrina,
I'm
too.
sure it feels like it,
Sabrina
yeah.
at Normal. And Normal won an award as well. You
yeah, they
recapped
won
that.
Nonprofit of the Year.
Yeah.
Educator of the Year went to CBA for which is Cannabis Business Alliance, for their
Mm-hmm.
edibles education campaign, which was the Start Low and Go Slow campaign. Yes. So good for them. I know because I was sitting next to Meg Collins, who's the executive director of CBA, and so she didn't know. She was one of the people who doesn't really know any of these stories, these activists for like 30 years, because her side is she deals with the politicians, and she like has really good relationships with a few of the business owners, but she's politics, and she's like, this is all new to her. She's
Right.
like, I've never seen anything like this, and she was so impressed, and it was really interesting to see that kind of merging. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing this with your fingers.
Yeah, I would like to see like one of my I am a goal setter. I'm a list maker. I'm a vision board kind of person. I would like to see.
You make a vision board?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
you should come over and see it. It's in my dining room.
Okay.
So I would just like to see more interaction between the legislative side of things and the average person who has no idea. We went to get my husband a suit for the Cannabis Business Awards, and he's like, "Whoa, what's your event?" And I told him I was a patient, and he had no idea that there was even like a cannabis business awards. And I asked him, I was like, how do you think you got your red card? Do you think that just happened?
Kinda, maybe.
No, there were thousands of people working nationally to give that to you. And I just wish there was a way to get them better involved. So,
Yeah. And so-
Tangent.
I wonder if that's what Rachel won, was most influential individual.
No, I think that was Tony Fox.
Yeah, Tony Fox won that. You're right. Another woman from Women Grow. I know you're better at this than I am. I'm trying to go through this thing.
Well, so Tony has just been amazing. She's been an amazing mentor to me in cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was not always fun and award shows and radio shows and, you know, having the luxury to write and study the way like I'm gifted with right now. Back in the day, it was hard.
Well, it's
there were
so
days
funny.
where it
You know,
was
you get a
super
lot
hard.
of these, and I might do a little mini rant right now.
Please.
There are a lot of entitled little fuckers out there, and I'm not going to mention names, but there's one in particular who comes to mind.
Entitled little fuckers.
Yeah, and they
Nice.
think that, like, and I get it, like, oh, you know, it's all this, and it's clowns, and it's all greed, and it's business, and da-da-da. And they don't think they realize how many of these business owners were activists first and were on the front lines. And these are people who are risking everything, breaking federal law. They're you know, they could be facing millions of years in prison. They're gonna be out hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment money they wouldn't get it back. It's not like you could go to court and fight it and they're gonna go, yeah, okay, we believe you, and you ever think you're getting any of that money back? No.
And losing everything we own, losing our children. It was really scary in 2010 because we did not know. We did not know when we opened our doors that first day or that first delivery of tincture and salve went out. I always thought to myself, God, if I go to prison for salve, that's going to be a sorry fucking day.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what salve is, you rub it on. It's pain relief.
She rubs it on.
Oh, I don't rub it on.
Well.
What you do with your salve at home.
What you do with your
It's
salve
not
at
my
home.
business.
What stays with the salve stays in the salve. So yeah, it's and so I think that's one of the things that people forget. You know, they're putting their physical lives at risk because of the banking issue. They put their monetary lives at risk because of the IRS.
Absolutely.
And they put they put their actual lives at risk because of the threat of federal law of going to prison.
And
so,
the fact that we don't have banking.
yeah.
So it's this as a social experiment. I'm just so thankful that everything went well. And I'm so thankful for people like Tony, who in 2010 had her little baby and like a baby born. And I have a photo of her standing on the footsteps of the Capitol with Christian Cedarberg. So I wasn't there. I didn't take the picture. I want to clarify. I swiped it off the internet because that is bravery. Mm-hmm. So, and that is someone standing up for the rights of the common man, anyone who used to use cannabis medically or recreationally, for caregivers. Tony is a caregiver advocate, and she's also an advocate for safe, appropriate adult use. I consulted in her store for a couple months at the beginning of the year, and it was just great to see how she treats her employees. She hires veterans, and she actually works extensively with Grow for Vets, which is the program. I was going to say,
speaking, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that gives cannabis to veterans.
And there's people, you know, so there are people who are doing good work. Speaking of Christian, Vicente Cedarberg won Cannabis Business of the Year. So, of course, they do so much work.
Yeah, and he has not aged. I remember in 2010, he came to this Infused Product Manufacturing Alliance meeting we had. And he's so notable because he's so tall and he's very handsome, bald guy. And I tried to figure out where he was. He looked, last night I was sitting there watching him on the stage. He looked exactly the same. And so many of us have aged so much. And then to see him, he just looks like the same guy, 4 or 5 years. I think cannabis has great anti-aging capacity. So whatever he's doing, he should keep rubbing it on.
Like the salve. Most valuable political industry representative went to Mike Dunafin, who ran for governor, and we've had on this show plenty of times. Mm-hmm. He ran on like one of the most strong pro-cannabis platforms I've seen a politician run on besides Gary Johnson, so good for him. He is stuck in traffic. He couldn't make it.
Nice.
Is Infused product manufacturer went to Incredibles.
Incredibles, our sponsor of the Hemp
Our
Connoisseur.
sponsor of that, and it's 4:40, and our great producer hasn't even told us to go on a break yet.
Talking it up, I just get back to it.
Aren't you supposed to tell us though when we're supposed to go on a break?
You don't have to take commercial break as long as you.
Oh, as long as we keep talking
Yeah.
about Incredibles.
Well, I think that you've just been really busy over there. I've been watching you out of the corner of my eye, and
I mean-
I know what's going on.
What's he?
So-
Yeah, he's sending dick pics to people. That's what he's doing right now. You guys can't see that, but that's totally what he's doing.
If that were really happening, I don't think I couldn't do this with a straight face. So
Well, you know. Let's see. What? Did you get the dick pic?
no, David is texting in, and he says that he's 65 years old because I was talking about how great Christian.
Oh yeah, he is though. He is.
David, are you really 65 years old?
No.
Nah, not so much. More
He's
like
50.
nah,
No, he's like
41 maybe.
49.
Nice. Who
I
else you have?
don't know. I missed Best Retail Center because after I got my award, I went to the bar.
I think it was the clinic.
Probably
it?
the clinic. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna guess. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Best concentrate product went to
Green Dot Labs.
Green Dot Labs. Oh,
Yeah.
good for them.
in Boulder. Do you mind if I play with your snow globe, Samantha?
Yeah, go ahead. You can,
Can I touch
my
your
globe.
ball?
You can touch my ball and my globe anytime you want.
Nice,
Shake it
thanks.
up.
Shake it up.
We had
So awesome.
People's Choice for Best Edibles product, and that went to Incredibles again. I think. I lost my picture.
That's awesome.
We did. Let's see. People's Choice Best Flower. I don't know. I don't remember any.
Well, I tell you what. We apologize for everyone that we might have missed.
Well, we're still waiting for Cloverleaf to get the list up, which they will, the list of winners.
Absolutely.
Up,
so you can find it on their Facebook page and their website. You know what else I would really like to talk about, Samantha, is something that's happening next Wednesday on December 17th.
What is happening on that? Well, we
There-
have 20 minutes left.
Yeah, but this is important. It's the 2015 legislative training session.
Yes.
And I was hoping maybe you could enlighten us about that because apparently you're running it. And
I
got an action notice right before the show, so I put it
wonderful.
in the show notes.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain Hemp Association is going to be hosting a legislative training. You know, because we do have a really active community. You know, we really want to help people on how to engage and and make sure that they understand that there's still a battle going on, and that now we're just changing tactics. And part of the tactics we're changing now is it's not enough to have a big 420 rally and protest and do that. Now we've got to start engaging on a different level, and so it's just not that people don't do that already, but it's sort of like giving people a toolbox and saying sometimes you need a hammer and sometimes you need a scalpel. You know, and so right now we're teaching people some of the more, and sometimes you just need a screwdriver, right? So this is more the screwdriver technique as opposed to the scalpel technique and the hammer technique, right?
Which requires a little dexterity.
a little dexterity.
That's finesse. Are you
Finesse,
going to
yeah.
teach finesse? Or because
I think it's going to be because a lot of people they think, you know. I mean, it's just politics, it's just this, it's just that, you know, and
is
lobbyists are just
so
evil. And
much
there's so
more.
much more to that. There's process. There's what kind of testimony to touch on. Do you go to the Capitol and tell them to go fuck themselves? No, not usually. But, you know, it's how to tell your story. B, how to, pay attention to when the meetings are and to when to engage and how to find, you know, so that kind of thing. How to engage your representatives, how to, you know, where the appropriate places, because you know, it's not just sending an email to Congressman Polis. Sometimes it's talking to people at Department of Ag or talking to people at Revenue or talking to people at CDPHE, you know, keeping an eye on this. Sometimes it's all these other regulatory bodies, you know, there's so many. And so it's the end of that thing.
So it's being held with Rocky Mountain Hemp Association.
Yes.
But any kind of cannabis interest person could come to it and learn
Absolutely.
exactly the same
Absolutely.
things. And I got to tell you, I really, really, I'm want to go. So
Oh, great.
I don't know if you want to carpool.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay,
and
great.
I'm going to be doing it with Mara Browsey and who works for Jared Polis, and Congressman Polis will be there at the beginning too, talking, I think, about that. So
Cool.
it's just different. The kind of techniques that you're going to do and the engagement that you do on a federal level is a lot different than local government, and everything is local at all times. And I think everyone focuses on the Capitol,
right,
and then Washington, D.C., and then they forget what happens in their own backyard. Like, I went to a Wheat Ridge City Council, and, they're starting the prohibitionists are back, y'all.
Yeah.
They're back, and they're wearing big, ugly red stop signs on their chests.
And they're well-funded.
They're well-funded this time. This is an offshoot of Kevin Sabet's Project Sam, and they call themselves Sensible Alternatives. Instead of Smart Approach to Marijuana. Now they're going, because I think they're like, oh, we don't want to be associated with Smart Colorado, even though I think we all know, just because you put a different hat on doesn't mean you're not the same whore, which is what you guys are. Oh, sorry, just kidding. Kevin Sabet's way too dirty to call a whore.
Actually, yes. I completely agree. So what would you like to call him, Sam?
I don't know. Probably something that's actually way too inappropriate for this internet radio.
For this show?
I know, for this show. I wouldn't even denigrate women by calling him the C word at all.
So David sent me a text a minute ago. He says, when does Sam need a pile driver? I think we were talking about screwdrivers.
David, damn, bringing it.
And David, if you don't want me to read your texts on air, just so you know,
need some kind of signal,
because I don't have any filters really. So, but yes, Rocky Mountain Hemp Association. We do want you to.
It's 17th. You can go to our RockyMountainHempAssociation.com, and there's an event page that you can click on. Like I said, Congressman Polis is going to be leading it.
Cool.
Again, I cannot stress, and this is probably what I'll be talking about, is local level stuff.
Good.
Because it's important. I think, again, I've been doing Wheat Ridge for a client, Wheat Ridge City Council, and all the prohibitionists are there. And so Wheat Ridge, a city council that had opted in to adult use marijuana, has now been on the receiving end of what happened in Lakewood, how they banned it, and then all the little ninnies with their red stop signs are now there was at least 20 of them there. And so the first thing I said is okay, you need numbers. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna get as many people there as possible. And they don't always have to speak, but what that is, and this is my free little preview into what I'll talk about, but numbers speak volumes, and people don't really understand that. It's one thing to have a very well articulate letter and to be able to talk to somebody, but if you're just because you're the most sane and rational voice, you're one voice. And just because the people with the red stop signs on their chest are crazy talkers, and you should have heard them talk. They were doing all the typical crazy, it biddles your brains and you inject it, and it
into your eyeball.
They were calling, into your eyeballs, and you're calling these people drug dealers, business owners, drug dealers, which is offensive. It really is offensive.
They have no idea. They're
just
no idea.
The worst. And so
sad.
And these people haven't even started really they're doing recreational sales, but they've been in medical businesses there for 5 years, and to call them drug dealers, these are people dealing with patients, which is offensive.
It's horribly offensive because those business owners have paid to keep the street lamps on. They've paid for more police cruisers.
Edgewater cleans up, and so
they do clean up, and they're very supportive.
Yeah,
but we both live in the community directly north of Wheat Ridge. So, and I saw the face you made for everyone. She's making a face. So I get it. And, if I can come and be present, I absolutely will. Because it is about showing up. It's about showing up and not showing up in a tie-dye T-shirt. It's about showing up in a suit. And even if you're not maybe available to speak that day for whatever reason, psychologically, it's about being present.
Yeah, it is about being present. And I would say it's, even a nice sweater and jeans or a nice shirt and jeans are okay, because, again, you're a citizen of that community. And that's one thing that these city councilors need to know. Because, one, they're actually quite uninformed right now about marijuana. There's not a lot of collusion between them and the state regulators. This is what I'm seeing right now. And then, two, because the only people who really care are the ones who have a lot of fucking time on their hands. Guess which side of the fence they fall on? So not our side.
Exactly. And here's what I'll say is, I did this 1-hour lecture for the psychology department down at Metro State University on basically the history of cannabis. I condensed it down into an hour, so I have to speak really, really fast. But anyone that you could get to go to that and listen to that, I will go to any mayor's office. I'll give the class for the guy who takes out the trash at the city and council building. I don't care, because I think it's just really important to know that cannabis has been in use for hundreds of thousands of years, and that it's traveled across the world, and it's a companion plant. And, people are scared of what they don't understand. 10 years ago, I never would have dreamed that I'd work in cannabis. I didn't smoke. Right. I didn't have any relationship with the plant. And now I love this plant. I think it's the smartest, best thing that we could ever want for our people, is to have a relationship with this plant.
Right. And that's important. I mean, this, people think lobbying is like passing off bucks to politicians and like,
dropping checks off,
hobnobbing and elbow rubbing and all that stuff. And I don't think they realize a lot of it is building relationships. It really is. Like, and when you think about it, there's other things your city councilors and representatives do besides marijuana. There's also other issues that, like, once you realize, like, oh my God, this is my city. All government is local, right? I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase. It's a very famous phrase, but it's true. And so I would encourage people to get involved and to expand. Like, maybe there's something with local foods that you're interested in, because, that and cannabis, philosophy tends to go hand in hand. Maybe there's something with fracking, that you want to. So whatever it is,
Absolutely.
It's community engagement. And like, I found it's ironic actually right now that the biggest, because Wheat Ridge is doing a study session. The irony is they actually seem to be pretty well informed on the efficacy of cannabis and marijuana. They're not informed on the state's laws.
Oh,
so
really?
that's where a lot of this. So a lot of you people, I know, and a lot of these activists and advocates and people are scholars when it comes to the state law. There's a lot of them out there. So be that resource for people. Educate yourself on what the law is, and then speak intelligently to these city council members about it. Because there's not always going to be a lobbyist like myself in the room who knows this and who does it up and down every day, And so they need that information to say, well, actually, this is why the 1,000-foot rule was enacted. Actually, this is, why they did hours of operations this way and things like that. Like,
can we talk about hours of operation
Sure.
for a minute?
Uh-huh.
What is your thoughts on having stores open till 9 or midnight?
Oh, I think this needs to happen. I think till midnight. I mean,
Okay.
the state allows till midnight. State law allows till
Right,
midnight.
and City of Denver, it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
So-
So they did that to match what happened with medical marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they already had. I think right now what you're seeing, and again, so we'll touch on this because this is also local government and lobbying, and there's an election coming up for Denver City Council. And so a lot of them are scared to make this an election issue. Well, I think we need to make marijuana an election issue, And
Right.
I know I've been offended when I've had a city council person tell me to my face that Denver didn't vote for stores, that they voted for decriminalization. And I wanted to correct that city councilor and go, well, Denver's voted in favor of marijuana ordinances by a 2/3 majority now 3 times. So don't tell me what Denver voted for. Denver knew exactly what Denver was voting for.
And here's the thing. It's the people who do the voting. I believe all these politicians should make a sensible regulation around what that looks like. So I'm looking for a shift to midnight if it's possible. So do you think it's possible?
I do. I do think that, I mean, if you want to get into all the insider baseball on it, which is quite boring. And
Well, we have 5 minutes. So
yeah, so
it's up to you.
It's absolutely possible. What I have a feeling is that this city council is going to kick the can down the road, and that they are going to let the new council deal with it. And then it doesn't even get,
Actually, I'm kind of okay with that.
but then it wouldn't even get in effect till probably
Oh.
July. I've talked to Tony about this several times. So,
Yeah. Well, I think I'm okay. Well, that's a bummer.
it is a bummer. I mean,
Why don't we could end on a happy note?
uh,
I've got one.
okay.
Betty Sunshine over here. So we were talking about this article, the U.S. federal government won't stop Native Americans from growing and selling marijuana. And I've just got to say, if you are not Facebook friends with the Hemp Connoisseur, you should be, because I found this popped up right as I was leaving the house. And I also want to give a shout out to the writer, Steve Elliott from Hemp News. And basically, the Department of Justice will tell U.S. attorneys not to prevent Native American tribes from growing or selling cannabis on their sovereign lands, even in states where cannabis is illegal.
Right. And it seems like they're going off of, which, first of all, anyone who knows anything, well, not anyone who knows anything, I think people have really done the research. But you have to understand, the treaties that we have with the Native Americans actually supersedes a lot of our constitutional law.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the first things that we said was like, okay, you guys get to do your own thing, and we're not going to. And obviously, one of the more famous cases where this is becoming even more and more egregious, but I think one of the more famous cases we all know about in the hemp industry was when the Lakota tribe in North Dakota was growing, and the DEA came and chopped it all down. Yep, Alex White Plume.
Okay.
And so, and they were growing hemp. They were growing for hemp, but they didn't know what they were doing. I mean, they literally were just sowing seeds in the earth because he was trying to give his people something to do again.
Absolutely.
Because they have, it's a destitute people. We've marginalized them, abused them, and I mean, like, it's
taken their magic from them, taken their education, their futures,
everything,
given them alcohol.
We've taken something that should be actually, which so ironically that we're all starting to come back now to this mentality of like, oh, maybe I should care about the environment. Maybe I should like be local and like, do things and not just be so consumeristic. And this has been their philosophy the entire time. So that's one of the more, so hopefully now these tribes should be able to operate free with a federal interference. It does seem from what I read in the decision that they are going to require that they stick to the 8-point guideline that was set out in the Cole memo.
And I've got that right here. So preventing the distribution of marijuana to minors, the revenue from the sale, not going to criminal enterprises, gangs, or cartels, no diversion to states where it's illegal, can't use state-authorized activity to be a cover for any other illegal activity, which makes good sense. This is my favorite. Preventing violence and the use of firearms in the cultivation and distribution of marijuana. If it were legal, this would not be a problem. It would still be a valued crop, but it would be like...
It's so funny, too, because...
anything else.
These people don't have access to banking. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one, I think, in Colorado. Watch out for this. I have a feeling this is going to come up because now the Republicans have control of the Senate. But it is interesting that... business that is now more vulnerable because it doesn't have access to banking and is a target for thieves, as we see in the news probably once every other week.
Yep.
And they can't even defend themselves.
No, absolutely not.
Which is so funny because I think the security guards are allowed to be armed. And Meta sort of said when they're transferring the cash, I think they can have guns on them. But it's a third party. I don't think the business itself can have a gun on the premises. It's really weird. It's a really weird area.
The on-premise thing is you have to be a merchant guard. You have to have a special license and training, and they're not allowed to have firearms, but they are allowed to have tasers. And I've spent some time with these guys, and thankfully I didn't get to watch them use their tasers, but those things are incredibly scary.
Right.
So, but yeah, the banking issue is our hot topic for 2015. Mm-hmm. And we're going to continue to work for safe access. We're going to continue to work nationally and internationally to get more medical cannabis legislation on the books, and also to teach people about all use is medicinal. Recreational use, if you look at it, is truly medicinal. So.
Oh, yeah, because we all drink to forget.
Exactly.
And we all smoke to also forget.
It's a coping mechanism, truly. And it's why, humans, like I used to have chickens. They had a 3-day memory. Swear to God. And we are much the same way. If you remembered every face and every thought that you'd had this year,
I mean, I didn't even remember that we both went to Grand Junction.
Yeah. Isn't it
crazy?
Well, it's minutia. And you're getting up there, Sam.
What? Did you just call me old?
No, I didn't say that you were old. I said that you were getting up there.
I think she just called me old. That bitch. All right, it's on now.
It's on.
You graduated 9 years before me, calling me old and shit.
I did not call you old
You
and shit.
started this off on such a good foot.
Well, here's what I had to
You
say.
don't call me old. My brain's going.
We got through a whole hour without having a fight. I thought that was really good. But if you're in a cannabis...
Now you're calling me aggressive? Aggressive and old?
No, I didn't call you old, but I will call you aggressive till the sun goes down. If you're in a cannabis garden, do you want to be in the garden with the babies? You want to be in the garden with the fully, robustly mature cannabis plants?
Oh, there, like a full-bodied wine. We get better with age. Like a
Truly
beautiful plant. We get better as we, grow bigger and fatter and more dank.
I'm getting dank.
Dude, I'm so dank right now. I was just like, this soda is not helping my dankiness right now. Oops.
I need to get one of those watches that makes me get up once an hour because I'm just like, I'm getting dank over here.
I know.
Chris, are you going to cut us off? Because
Oh, you guys are at that time.
It's at that time. Well, okay, we're just going to wrap this up. We didn't have any commercial breaks.
thank
but
you, Chris,
We don't need to
for
have a commercial
doing
break.
it, whatever it is that you've been doing for the
Because
last
Incredibles
hour.
is amazing, and we don't really need to have a commercial break because I want my Incredibles. I'm going to text Bob about it right now.
I think you should. And I just have to say, I have watched the Edible Game since the very first day and the day before that, and then seen it go from the little baggie to the packaging that we have now. And I've sampled a lot of edibles in microscopic amounts. And the thing I love about Incredibles is it's always so incredibly delicious and consistent. Mm-hmm. And it's not just me. I mean,
I'm not even a chocolate mint fan, and the Mile High bar is one of my favorites. I'm loving it. It's just so yummy.
I'm all about the Pop Rocks.
Joe's a big fan of cookies and cream.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a mint person, so...
I'm not either, and I love it. It's like those little Andes mints. It's just the right, perfect amount of chocolate and mint.
I wouldn't know, no.
You
But
don't
the
even eat those?
Pop Rock bar...
Is it good?
Well, it's brilliant because it makes you hold the chocolate in the mouth, so the uptake is quicker. Versus
oh, damn, girl.
it goes
all about partying.
through this... No.
I'm kidding.
Yes, totally, absolutely.
Yes.
It goes through the sublingual membrane directly into the receptors in your brain, so it bypasses the liver. Just a little tip brought to you
By science.
by science.
By science and Christie.
So
Dun, dun, dun.
we are going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us at the Hemp Connoisseur Radio Show.
Wrap this up like an early Christmas present, y'all.
And we will see you next week, which happens to be, David, the third Thursday of the month. Today is the second Thursday of the month.
I know Christie's put it in some overtime because David decided to stay home because he's a terrible person. What?
Awesome.
I want my swag bag.
Okay, get Sam her swag bag.
Get Sam her swag bag.
And with that, have a great week.
Peace, love, and hempiness.